How are you?
I'm good, Priyancy. And seeing you, it's always so good. You feel so fresh in the evening.
Actually, I was just thinking that we have come already like halfway through the A to Z series and we're discussing letter L today. So it feels good that, okay, half of the journey is completed.
Yeah, and it was really good. I felt really good with this journey. It was never like a big journey, like 26 days in a row. But yes, 13 days are gone, never felt like it. It
Yes,
is so amazing to work with you, Priyancy. Thank
thank
you.
you. Same with you. So can you just quickly tell us that why are we doing this series and then we'll hop on to the words.
Yes. So for the viewers who have joined today and don't know about this, why are we here, both of us? So for them, we are doing this series just to let people know some words from psychology, and they should know and understand the meaning. What does that word specially mean? Because psychological words are not used in day-to-day languages. They might be labeling, they might be stigmatizing. So it's better to know the meaning first and then use them. Otherwise, please refrain from using those psychological words until unless you're diagnosed with that problem.
Yes,
Yeah, Priyansi?
and we are taking these words from the Oxford Dictionary of Psychology by Andrew Colman, right? So let's get started with the first word with the letter L. So, yeah,
Yeah. So the first word is labeling. And I'll quickly read from the dictionary first and then we can discuss. Okay? So from labeling and labeling theory, it means that an influential theory of deviance, according to which a label attached to a person can function as a self-fulfilling prophecy, profoundly influencing that person's behavior. This means that labeling theory says that if you give a person a label, means it is sometimes the psychiatrists, the doctors, the police, they identify a deviant behavior and they label it. But that's a labeling of a behavior and not of a person. So people should understand that it is a labeling of behavior, not of a person. So it sometimes, the person who is being labeled doesn't know that he's been labeled, but when he understands that he's labeled, then he behaves in that certain way without intention. That okay, I am such and so has been labeled to get an edge or to get an edge out of it, but later on this behavior becomes involuntary and this person who's been labeled can be treated, is being treated but cannot come out of it. So that's the effect of labeling. It causes really a big effect on that person's mind who has been labeled. If that person internalize that situation, that it is impossible for that person to come out of that problem, even though he's been treated.
yeah,
And it causes a great social rejection in people who have been labeled. They are like out of society people. Although they've been treated, they are cured, everything is done, but labeling gives them such a mark on in their life that they are not able to come out of it.
right. This reminds me of a child I know. So, he's different from others, from like what we consider as normal and abnormal. So he's different from others, and few of the teachers I know they have labeled him like they usually say ये तो ऐसा ही है, वो ऐसा ही abnormal है. They use these sentences. So adding the word abnormal to the child, okay, now it has got fit in his mind that okay, I am abnormal, so this is how it is going to hurt the child for the whole life that okay, I am labeled as an abnormal person. So yes, I am abnormal. So like we can say that the problem that the child has, he has no more problem with that labeling. Yes, because he's being labeled with a particular term that okay, you are abnormal or any other labeling words that we use. Yes. Okay, so let's move on to the
Because these
second.
label,
Yeah,
sorry, yeah, continue because there was an interruption. Yeah, you can go ahead.
no, sorry, I was going to the next word. You can continue if you want to continue.
No, I was just adding one more line. It is like the label, they stick. It is like a sticker. Label is like a sticker that stick to you, that stick to that person, and it is impossible to remove, you know.
Right, right.
So
Yeah,
that is
that's,
it.
yeah. Yes. So the second
It,
word
you
we
can
have,
speak and go on this topic as much as you want. You cannot stop, but we have time constraint. So let's hop on to the next word.
yes, the next word is locus of control. The dictionary says trait characterized by a generalized expectancy about the relationship between behavior and the subsequent occurrence of reinforcement. So when I talk about locus of control, it says that how strongly do you believe that you can control the situations and experiences of your life? Okay, how am I able to control the experiences that I have in my life or the circumstances that I have in my life? What, like, to what extent I have control over them? So when I talk about locus of control, there are two types: internal and external. Internal locus of control, okay, let's understand with an example. Like, if a child is there, okay, he if a child fails or passes the exams, the child says it was my effort or my lack of effort that I failed or passed the exam. That is internal locus of control, where I am taking the responsibility of my own actions, whatever is happening in my life, right? But when we talk about external locus of control, I am putting a finger on the situation, on fate, on God, on luck, that it happened because I failed the exam because the teacher did not check the exam well. The teacher hates me, hence she marked me less on my examination. So that is external locus of control, when you are, uh, blaming others for the situation that you have in your life. So this is what internal and external locus of control is. Like, another example we can take is, suppose there is a driver, he or she is driving roughly, okay, and meets with an accident. Now, if the driver says that the roads are, not in a proper condition, there was a lot of traffic, or, other vehicles on the road who were not driving properly. So that is external locus of control. When the driver accepts that, okay, I was overspeeding, internal locus of control, I am taking responsibility of my actions. So that is what locus of control is.
Yeah, Priyansi, very well. Because I've seen the who have internal locus of control. It has been proven by researchers also that the person who have internal locus of control, they are happy people.
Yeah.
And how can people overcome these locus of control, external locus of control, is that they don't behave when they are achieving something. They should not give the credit to others. They should take the credit to themselves. And if they are not able to do it, they should not be blaming. So that is the way a person can, inculcate this internal locus of control.
Mhm. Right. So identifying self efforts also that you had put in achieving something. Self,
Yeah.
what do we
So
say?
crediting
Uh,
yourself also.
Crediting yourself also, right? Giving credits to yourself also, that yes, I had put certain amount of work and effort into it, and hence I got it. Yes. Okay.
Yes.
So the third word is,
This is very interesting word. A lot of experiments are being done on animals on this. This is lateral thinking. First, I'll read from here. Is a creative problem solving, usually by reformulating the problem or viewing it from a fresh angle. Uh, I have so many examples to share, mostly on chimpanzees. This says that lateral learning, there are two kinds of learning, that is vertical learning and lateral learning. Vertical is a normal route of learning. It has already been, you know, given the way that you have to work in this line only. That is vertical learning. Those are logical reasoning, logical learning. The logics have been proved and person walk on the same points as they have been taught. Lateral learning is thinking out of the box. Means you can solve a problem, you can see the problem in different angles and then solve the problem. So for this, I'll give you a very good example. It was worked on chimpanzees. Like chimpanzee was placed inside the cage, and the food was outside the cage, and there was a drink outside, but the chimpanzee could not reach. And so the chimpanzee was also given six, seven big straws, and they were small straws given to him, given to the chimpanzee inside the cage, and now the chimpanzee cannot drink with that small little straw. So there are like when there's a problem solving, there are stages of problem solving. It is like first you prepare for that situation, then you see and you do it and you come back. Then there is an incubation where you go silent inside, inward, and then understand what the problem is. And then there is an illumination, a aha moment, where you get an insight. Oh, this can be done. And then is a verification. Then you try to do that insight thing that you got that insight and you try that thing and then you succeed. So in that case of a chimpanzee, the chimpanzee was continuously trying with the straw, putting them out, but the liquid was too far. So the chimpanzee went back to the corner inside, and then with an aha moment, the chimpanzee came back. It joined all the straws together to make it a long straw and could drink it. So that is out of the box thinking. That is lateral thinking.
Right.
There are many, many examples. There are many, many examples.
Basically, this is like that a person who doesn't have lateral thinking will just see one side of the problem, whereas the person who has lateral thinking will see different sides of the problem and will see that how can I, finally reach to the solution. So that is what lateral thinking
Yes.
is. Yes. So that is, can we
Yeah.
say that is being creative also? Can we say that?
Yes.
Yeah.
That's a creative thinking. Yeah.
Right. Okay. So let's move on to the fourth and the last word for today. That is very interesting. The fourth word is learned helplessness. Okay. So it was proposed by Seligman. The dictionary says an apathetic condition in an animal or a human being resulting from exposure to insoluble or inescapable physical or emotional stress. Learned helplessness. As the name suggests, you have learned to be helpless. Okay, so this is interesting to know that somebody can actually learn that how to be helpless. So this is basically learn when you have learned to be helpless. This is basically happening because you have reduced motivation to use your imagination to solve any problem in your life. People learn to be helpless because they have been constantly having situations in their life where they were not able to get out of the situation, where they were not able to face that situation, where they were again and again pushed back into that situation. So it doesn't happen in one go. It happens constantly, right? Constantly you are being getting into a negative situation, and then when there's a time when you can actually escape from that situation, you're not able to escape because you have learned to be helpless. This is like, there's this story of an elephant, like you have learned in our school, which says that so there was a baby elephant which was who was tied to a nail, right? He was tied to a nail, so the elephant wanted to escape. So he would daily try that, can I escape? But he was not able to because the elephant was a baby. Now, there he learned that I cannot escape from this nail, I cannot escape from this place. But as the time passed by, the elephant grew. The elephant grew, and that time the elephant did not try to escape from the situation because he thought, oh, I'm tied to this nail, now I cannot move from here. So this is learned help, where in actual sense he could easily escape. Now it's like big and powerful. He can easily escape. He can take the nail with him, right? So he can easily escape, but because he had learned to be helpless, he can't escape. This is what exactly happens with us humans as well. And if there is a person who, for a longer time period, uh, dwells into the situation of learned helplessness, then it might result in depression as well, because that is a situation where you cannot come out from. So if constantly somebody is into the zone of learned helplessness, it might result into depression. So this is what learned helplessness is. Like suppose another example can be a woman who has been into a marriage where there is physical violence, physical abuse. Okay, Now, earlier she couldn't get out of the marriage because of XYZ reasons, financial reasons, or maybe kids, society. Now she's into the marriage. She has learned that I cannot escape from the situation, hence into the marriage. This is another example of learning helplessness. Yes? What do you think?
Yes, Priyansi. Yes, Priyansi. Many examples from learned helplessness. People just learn it because they don't want to fight that stress. They've started fighting the stress, but they give up because they think that fighting the stress would not work. So ultimately, they give up. So when there is a dominance, it may be in any place. It may be in the animal world or in the human world. When there is a dominance and people who don't want to take all that stress every day and don't want to fight back, they learn to be helpless. And that's learned helplessness.
So basically, this is
People
in
can,
simple language. You can
yeah, it can be like it's a learning thing. It can be unlearned too. But then you need a lot of effort because it's been years of learned helplessness. Will take a lot of effort. If it is in the beginning years, definitely person can fight back, but that needs a lot of effort. But if people just give it up, okay, they feel happy in their zone, they would not they are happy in that zone.
So basically, you have got used to that situation where you had told
Yeah.
yourself, I cannot escape from it. This is what happens when we learn to be helpless. I cannot escape, where in actual sense, you can easily escape. So it happens with a period of time and not in just like one situation. Yes. So,
Yes.
everyone in the
Yeah.
comments, thank you so much for the appreciation that you are giving. We trust me, we are really glad after receiving them. It gives us motivation. It's like an intrinsic motivation that we are getting. So, thank you so much. Thank you, Nishita. Thank you, Sanjay sir. Thank you so much. So, yes, let's wrap up for today. So, the four words that we had discussed today are labeling, locus of control, learned helplessness, and lateral thinking. Tomorrow we'll be back with letter M, and it's a surprise episode. We are doing something really interesting tomorrow with letter M. So, be there, everyone, tomorrow. See you, and thank you, Shalubi, for being so sweet and sparing your time for lighten the soul. Yes, thank you.
Thank you so much, Priyansi. Pleasure is all mine. I'm enjoying every day with you and all the new words that we are learning. It's great learning time. Thank you so much, all the viewers. Please put in comment if whatever you want to know more about it or what we are making you all understand and there is another aspect of it we can learn from you too. So feel free to share your comments.
Yes, because we believe in mutual learning. So we are learning something and we would love to learn something from you as well. Yes. Thank you so
Yes.
much.
Thank you so much. Bye bye. Ciao.
Bonjour.